Thanks, Steve. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's day number 10 here at the Crucible. A week today, someone will walk away with the biggest prize in world snooker. Let's continue the quest to find out who that will be. Without any further ado, let's get the boys on the bays. Introducing, first of all, a man Ronnie O'Sullivan said could rule the game for 10 years. A semi-finalist here last year. He won the China Open last month. The pride of Scotland, Stephen On Fire Maguire. And his opponent, the 2007 Welsh Open champion, a quarter-finalist here 2 years ago. He traditionally loves the big occasion. He's the Melbourne Machine, Neil Robertson. And on table number 1, hold your breath for this one. Please welcome a player of unquestionable pedigree, winner of 16 ranking event titles, twice a UK champion, twice a winner here in Sheffield. It's the Welsh potting machine, Mark J. Williams!
Very well, Mark.
And finally, a player of outrageous natural talent. An absolute magician with a cue in his hands. He's the double world champion. Blink and you've missed him, because here comes the rocket, Ronnie O'Sullivan!
Very well, Ronnie. We'll go second.
The usual understated introductions from Rob Walker. Both matches available to you via the red button on the interactive service as ever, but we're going to stay here on table 1 now, and we do so in the company of Willie Thorne and Dennis Taylor, who are looking forward to this, I am very sure.
You bet your sweetheart we are, Hazel. The atmosphere, once again, electric.
Frame 17, Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Ronnie back to breaking off with his left hand. Not a bad break-off shot. The only problem, a red has gone right next to the black and tied it up. Might free it with this shot. That's a pretty good return safety from Mark Williams. You think he's got the pace of the table, will he?
It certainly looks like it, doesn't it? I'm sure all our viewers watching this match have probably watched the opening 2 sessions, and what a match we've had here. Both players have break building department's been very good. Only 2 frames in this whole match where there hasn't been a break of 50 or above. And Mark Williams said in the match miraculously last night with breaks of 81 and 73 in the final 2 games from 9-5 behind to stay in the match at 9-7. What a big frame this
Somebody
first one is.
Got one of the earpieces are very loud and we can hear them quite clearly down here. Can you just adjust them, please?
Arian Williams there just asking for someone just to turn their earpiece down a little bit. It's a standard thing these days at all the tournaments. They can pick up the BBC commentary. But this is such a small theatre, 970 people, and they're all pretty close to the table, so it's important that the players don't hear any noise. Players, of course, can't hear the commentators, which is slightly different from when Whispering Ted Lowe used to commentate. Ted used to sit in the 3rd or 4th row in the early days and commentate on a match. That's That's what he's looking at there. I know Ted still tunes in to watch the snooker, and I hope you're keeping well, Ted, and your wife Jean.
Ronnie would have been tempted at the double on the black spot here, but the red that Mark played safe off has gone in the way of that double. That's the reason he's playing a safety shot. He could have played the double as a shot to nothing. Didn't entertain it. It's nice to see Mark Williams playing well again. He's been a little bit out of the game really as far as winning tournaments concerned the last couple of years. Dropped almost out of the top 32, which is unbelievable when most players would still mention him in the top 4 or 5 players in the world.
I think when he was 9-5 down, well, he out loud he said last evening, Pontins, here I come, the way things were going, because if he loses this match, he has to go to the qualifying matches at Pontins. But the 2 frames that he played at the end of the match has got him right back in it.
Well, we're only some 3.5 minutes into this opening frame, and already we've seen some excellent safety.
This is tough to get back to the bulk area. Got to be so precise if he tries this. Played it well. Picked it out very well.
Well, that's about 5 or 6 safety shots on the trot. I've all been within 5 or 6 inches of the baulk cushion, and from difficult positions as well. Excellent safety.
He has a way down off that one or the one in front of it. He may not go along the line, but he can get back down the table off that one.
The first tempter, but if he plays it, he's going to have to screw back into the baulk area. He's blessed with a lot of cue power. There's an easier safety shot on the pot, but as it's right into an open pocket, he might be tempted with this one. Wants that cue ball to hold up. He's left choice of reds here, one in the baulk and one in the corner. That's always happens if you don't catch the jaws of a shot to nothing. It's amazing how they 7 out of 10, maybe 8 out of 10 times they end up being stuck up. You see, he didn't really get the jaws here. That's why it came in and out of baulk.
And there you see the long pot success rate. Ronnie rapidly rising. He was at 9%, believe it or not,
6
after the first session. But when he was in amongst the balls, he was cueing extremely well. And there you see it, 92%, and Mark Williams at 90%. So it's a fairly high standard, that, Willie.
Anything above 90 is great, isn't it? And Mark Williams, if playing against anybody else, would be 9-7 in front at least, with a 90% pot success rate. Tough to see a high break coming here with black and pink awkward at the moment. The red below the pink to the right of it, that's the key one. He'd like to get rid of that ASAP to leave the pink available in at least 2 pockets. But how does he do it? It's hard work at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, if he could get up that side of the table, he would leave the red next to the pink and then he would free it, but I don't think he's got a good angle there on the green to do that, so he'll have to come up the other side of the table, you would feel. Well, he did manage to get it across and got a choice of reds,
10.
but a little bit further and he would have been able to have freed the pink.
11.
Well, could do it now, I suppose.
There's another great example of how you've got to make sure you get topside the blue. May have looked to have gone a little bit too far, but Ronnie purposely didn't want to finish short and have to go in and out of baulk. You've always got the baulk colours there to your rescue.
The problem for Ronnie here is the red that's just up. Yeah, the red in the circle, he'd normally just stun up off the cushion. That's why he's taking a while over this shot. That's in the way. So it was a change of plan there. And it
Actually didn't play the kiss there, Dennis, but it's worked out good, isn't it? Because it's made the pink potable now. Don't know whether the pink spot is covered or the pink's on its own spot. It'll still spot, I think, if it goes
17.
in. Yes, I think when this pink's replaced, it'll still pot. So he's in a couple of shots from not looking like he could possibly score enough to win the frame. He's developed things
23.
into a frame winning opportunity now.
$24.
I think Ronnie knew only too well he had to get off to a good start, having lost
30.
the last 2 frames.
31.
That was Willie mentioned earlier. Mark Williams had breaks of 81 and 73 to get back to just 2 behind. He looks in pretty good form here this afternoon. Ronnie O'Sullivan queuing very smoothly.
37.
Yes, it's not very often you can suggest a 40 or 50 break is as good as a century, but if you anything above 50 here, it's been absolutely top draw. Black out of play, pink out of play for the first 30 points of this break. And if he makes a frame winning break from here, he's done remarkably well, and there's a chance now.
44. 45. 51. 52. 58. 59.
There's still a possible 67 left on the table with 5 reds there. So he's going to need 1 more red. The standard really has been very high in this match.
65.
Plays that screw shot so much softer than a lot of the, and even that
66.
shot there, a lot of players to get that kind of cue ball movement have to hit the ball a lot harder. That's why Ronnie's so good. He can make the ball move with precious little power, which is amazing.
71. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 71.
Yes, Mark Williams puts his cue on the table. Ronnie O'Sullivan, he only needed 1 chance and he clinched the frame with that break of 71, and he extends his lead to 10 frames to 7.
So a 3-frame gap now. Observations about the start of this session, first of all, John.
Well, very fluent once again from Ronnie. First opportunities in there, makes a 70 break, and there's been some pretty serious scoring in the last few frames. Thing is, every time he's gone and got that gap, Mark's always had an answer and come back, and he can't quite close it up yet, but he's got it back to 2, obviously starting this session. So still plenty of snooker left.
Steve?
One of the difficulties about trying to overcome Ronnie O'Sullivan, if he's got a lead on you, is that even a Ronnie O'Sullivan under pressure, in the heat of the moment, can still make the ball seem to go into the pockets very easily. He's very fluent in cueing wise, so therefore it's really tough to keep him under wraps. Very rarely does he seize up like you see some players do. So Mark Williams' job is made much harder by that first frame. But Mark Williams is playing better snooker. You know, he's produced some decent stuff in this match. He must be buoyed up by that. To get over the line, though, it's another hurdle, another step, but you never know.
I think he surprised a few people last night, John, when he was, what, 9-5 behind and won the last couple of frames too.
Yeah, and with, you know, single frame contribution sort of thing, 70 and 80 to get back into it. So he's hitting the ball well. He has been for quite a while. He just needed, you know, to get a result and to get the confidence back up. Unfortunately, he's playing the tournament favourite at the minute, so every mistake you make or every opportunity you give, you know, it's getting exaggerated because O'Sullivan capitalises.
We haven't seen Mark in great form over the last couple of seasons. Do you begin to see the shoots of recovery from him in this championship?
Yes, I think slowly he's getting used to his new cue, and he's had it for a year now, I think, and it is quite a different cue from his old one. I think it does take a time to tune in for a player, especially if it was quite a bit fatter than his old cue. Confidence. Match-winning confidence is another matter. You know, he wasn't in the best of shapes before he changed cues, but I think, you know, at any one time a player is either going down in form or coming out of form. I think certainly Mark Williams is on the way up, coming out of form, but the winning form, that's tougher. You know, the superiority complex he had 2 or 3 years ago, that's tough to get back.
Okay, let's get back to them live in the arena.
Slightly longer break taken from Mark Williams there, but I just wanted to, you know, sometimes you look at yourself in the mirror and try and G yourself up, and he didn't do anything wrong that last frame. Just had that one go at the long part, Dennis, didn't he? That he was playing as a shot to nothing, and it jawed and came right back into balk, and the 71 break was top draw.
Well, watch out. There's a rocket about when he starts knocking these ones in. He couldn't buy a long pot in the opening session. 1 in 11. Well, there's the total points. Believe it or not, 875 points each. But as far as Ronnie O'Sullivan's concerned, the important scoreline is he's 3 in front.
3.
Just had a wander around the table to look at the other red in the opposite corner, but this is the better choice.
4.
Black tied up at the moment, as you can see. Pink, well, it is available into a couple of pockets. Ronnie won't go into them here. And if he's finished on this red, he'll free the black. He'll just cannon the red to the left of it. That was perfectly played. The position was absolutely spot on there.
Dennis and I had the pleasure of doing the studio yesterday evening for the second session of this match, and I suggested in the studio that Ronnie seemed to be getting tuned in the longer the match went. He didn't look particularly tuned in the first round match against the Chinese boy, and of course in the first session against Mark Williams I didn't think he looked totally in total concentration. Today he looks absolutely like he's here for a battle and wants to play.
$25. 26.
Just looking to see what would happen. He usually plays this with stun and doesn't stick in the pack. Well, he caught it. He's turned out okay for him, but he didn't get the cannon as he anticipated
33.
there. He was playing into the gap between that red and the other to open them. But usually when you're queuing well and things are going well, you'll get the little run of the ball. He didn't open the pack, but that one landed over the middle pocket for him.
$34.
This is the shot he was playing. He was trying to get into the two reds to cannon them, and that would have really opened it, but he just caught the one red full ball.
Well, in just under 4 minutes, including Mark Williams' poor break-off shot,
37.
Ronnie's already at 37 and counting, and this is the key shot. The angle on the
38.
blue with the pink being off its spot. He's not absolutely guaranteed to get a good cannon. He may play for the loose red because the pack's better to go into from the black than it is from the blue.
That's the angle, but there is a possibility of planting one into the corner pocket there. If he hits the pink full ball, one red could go in off another, so I think that's the reason he refused to play into it there.
43.
What kind of angle can he leave himself this time? Didn't work quite right last time he was on the half ball black into the bunch. He'll need the half ball black again.
44.
Can he judge the cannon this time? He'll probably play on the right of the reds at the back there, half ball. And he got it half ball that time, but he still might be unlucky. He hit that absolutely perfect.
51.
But the white just stuck in the two reds there.
Seemed to cannon the two reds at exactly the same time, didn't it? And took all the pace out of the cue ball. Now, that cue ball would have been another 5 or 6 inches further to the left, and that would have been game over. This is missable.
Lots of noise from the other table, but Ronnie O'Sullivan looks so
59.
focused here this afternoon. I bet he didn't even hear it. This is the best he's looked in this match so
60.
far. I know he's made it the highest break of the tournament, 140, but his focus here this afternoon. Wow, what a time to get a heavy contact and a bad kick.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 60.
That's one of the biggest kicks I've ever seen. I mean, the blue finished 3 inches away from the pocket. That is incredible. If Mark Williams could somehow manage to nick this frame, that would really hurt.
1.
Yeah, the dreaded kick again.
Mark Williams, 1.
He didn't get on the pink as he wanted to. It wasn't a very good opening shot that Mark played. He should have been straighter on this pink, but didn't expect him to miss that.
And what makes matters worse, Dennis, of course, is 59 behind with 59 on now.
very clever. Didn't play to get on the black, just played to pot the red and keep it fairly safe if he had missed it. But the way he's going, he's not going to miss very much.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
Well, we've only played 1.5 frames, and already Ronnie's cueing better than he ever has done in this championship this year. He's hit the ball magnificently in this last 35-40 minutes of play.
Well, that's virtually made it impossible for Mark to win the frame. He's pushed the black safe now. Pink safe, the yellow safe. Don't blame Mark for carrying on here, no matter how many snookers he needs, because
6.
he'll want to keep Ronnie away from the table for a while.
7.
Going to take the double on the black rather than the easy blue. At the moment he needs 4 points snookers, and did well to get the black onto its spot
Mark
there.
Williams 14.
You may see Ronnie trying just to flick the black on the cushion here. Okay, there's a lot of work for Mark Williams to do, 46 behind, but the black's on its spot. It's always easier to get, you try to knock it on the cushion. It's always easy to get in behind the black because that's where the black always is, and it's the natural path sometimes of 2 or 3 cushions. That was a great effort. That's unlucky. Good effort.
Other than that pink that Mark missed into the centre pocket, he's done precious little wrong. Ronnie has just been devastating here. I think the very opening shot that Mark played when he tried to knock a long red in and didn't quite get it, and that was his only shot.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Well, Mark Williams decided to concede. Ronnie O'Sullivan breaks of 71 in frame 17, breaks of 60 in frame 18, goes further clear at 11-7.
And had it not been for that thunderous kick on break of 60, it would have been all over in that frame a lot more quickly, Steve.
Yes, Ronnie O'Sullivan looks like he's heading into the next round fairly comfortably. But as we've seen before in this match, you know, Mark Williams has had the ability to come back. But it's obviously getting closer and closer to the finishing line, so not too much room for manoeuvre for Mark.
You spotted something in that frame you wanted to show us, John.
Yeah, it's just a positional shot that Ronnie played. We've got a situation on the table where Ronnie's on the blue here. Obviously the black is currently out of commission, but he just plays this absolutely beautifully. Drops the blue in, just checks it up off the cushion there, and he's just got the perfect angle just to be high on the red. He gets down, knocks this in, flicks the red away from the black, and from a chance that was looking, well, you might make 20 or 30, take the loose reds away, all of a sudden balls are in a beautiful position, and that's why he's such a good break builder. 2 shots, a little bit of thinking about it, balls are all in the open.
From what we've seen today, does he look more up for it today than he has the last couple?
Well, I felt that Ronnie O'Sullivan was going to come into this tournament with his head down, just like concentrating on, one frame at a time, one match at a time, not getting too involved in anything other than his play. So far in this tournament, that's been the case. Obviously, the second half of the tournament, the second week, starts to get a bit more frantic, and every day you're playing, that's when players can sometimes unravel. But I think Ronnie O'Sullivan's going to be very, very composed throughout the whole of this tournament. He's going to take some holding.
Well, he's going to take some holding from Mark Williams' point of view, because there's an awful lot more to do now as we head into this third of the session.
Mark can see this red up the left side of the table. Is he having a go? That's why we've been saying for quite a number of years, one of the best single ball potters we've ever seen in the game. There's one sure thing about Mark Williams: he won't give up easily. He will fight right to the bitter end.
Yes, he closed yesterday evening with 2 frame-winning breaks. One he wouldn't give for 2 frame-winning breaks now to go into the interval, still in the match at 11-9. Any other scoreline, it would be hard to see him getting out of it. But 16 breaks over 50 already in this match.
Depends whether one of the reds pots into the left corner. If not, he can play a little cannon onto the 2 reds there to the right. If one of them goes, he'll just roll the black in and drop on that. Now he's played the cannon, he's played it perfectly.
20. $21.
Clever shot there. If he goes a little bit too hard, he's got the one in the middle pocket. And this is the key shot coming up here. An awkward bunch, so he needs to get plenty of pace on this. Didn't seem to fully commit to that, and he could be in off.
Foul. Mark Williams.
Might have been better playing with a little touch more side and a bit more pace there, rather than trying to just flick the edge of them. Now let's see if Ronnie can knock another long one in. The first session he was hitting these thick, sending the red to the left jaw.
Still a fraction thick, Dennis, wouldn't it? It was still a fraction thick, so, but obviously spent a lot of time on the practice table getting those a little bit better, and this is perfect. He's finished low on this red, which means whatever happens, if we bring another reds into play, that's a little unfortunate.
9.
Played it with lots of topspin, force through the bunch. Keep an eye on the cue ball here. It powers its way through the reds. Generates more spin than any other player in the game at the moment. This is tricky. Well, he's gone all out for the pot.
$16.
he get right through that gap? And wow, you wouldn't believe it, would you? He might have been able to get through the gap, but to cue it as well as that, I mean. He's really on top of his game at the moment.
23. 24.
And the reds are as they are, because remember a few moments ago he powered through the black, powered through a red and brought all these reds into play, and albeit came to the table some 20 odd points behind, he's obviously favourite to win the frame from here. This kind of shot you play for more than one red. You play to finish in between the pink and blue, so it gives you a chance of, you get options, you see. If you overhit it, you're on the one on the right, underhit it, you're on the left, so I mean you're always giving yourself options.
28. $29.
Doesn't really matter how he finishes on the black because of the way the 5 reds are situated.
$36.
Apart from the kick
37.
when he missed the blue, I can't remember him, Ronnie, missing a pot he's gone for.
He's knocked everything in. You're absolutely right, Willie. But it's the way he's pushing the cue through. He's getting through the ball so well.
44. $45. $52.
Well, this is the 17th break over 50. It's just marvellous snooker. We've had a 50 above in every frame since frame 10.
53.
And even there he ran slightly out of position. He just gets down left-handed and made that look so easy.
$58.
So just this red.
59.
$11 minutes for one frame, 12 minutes for the
65.
other.
66.
This one's just been going just over 8 minutes.
Well, he can get exactly 100, and the way he's
73.
played this break, to be perfectly honest, it'll almost be an injustice if he doesn't make 100. That's how well he's hit the ball here.
75.
You couldn't be more impressed the way that Ronnie O'Sullivan's played this afternoon.
78. 82.
Absolutely
87.
incredible stuff from Ronnie O'Sullivan. It really is.
$93.
He's hit breaks of 71, 60, and now a century. Absolutely incredible. Ronnie O'Sullivan goes further ahead And now he's just one place away from victory. Well, Willie, what can you do with a player when he's playing like this? I suppose if we were going to be a little bit critical of Mark, we say he doesn't like to go into the bunch, but there was a shot there. He's on the black, and I think most players, or certainly Ronnie or Stephen Hendry, definitely would have played into this with a lot of pace, but he tried to just play it gently and flick one out.
I think anything he did wrong, didn't get any left-hand side, did he? You mentioned in commentary a little bit of left-hand side. He would have hit that outside red thicker, and maybe would have been on the balls. But I mean, I'm just looking at the match on a whole, Dennis, at 12-7. I think Mark Williams has played as good as we've seen him for the last 2 seasons. Against anybody else, he'd be winning.
Couldn't agree more. He really has put up a good performance, but when you're playing an opponent playing the way he is, it's just you just can't do anything about it, because Ronnie has knocked everything in that he's gone for.